Hello, this is Bruce Wan, Head of Research for MaxCap Group. In this video, I want to talk about the strong pace of population gains we're seeing in Australia and the likely implication this has for Australian housing demand. Specifically, how much demand do we expect to see, where would it be, what type of housing do we need, and what does it mean for potential investors? In a world with sluggish demand growth, there's a little bit more of it here in Australia. A lot of this is coming from the stronger pace of population growth in Australia, while more and more developed countries are reporting declining population and negative housing demand. Australia is still seeing sustained population growth tracking above the 2% per annum mark. Certainly the main driving cause of this strong population growth is due to the record pace of net overseas migrations in 2023, currently running at over 450,000 people a year, with more people arriving and less people leaving, although the second bit of that often gets lost in the conversation. Altogether, we're looking at a clear case of housing undersupply in Australia, which is contributing to the strong gains in rents and prices over the past year, despite the recent increases in mortgage interest rates. This pattern of excess demand is expected to run on for several years, even if we see a moderation in net overseas migration. Meanwhile, the profile of this population growth is really impacting on the pattern of housing demand. Looking at this chart, we can see where that population growth is likely to occur in Australia over the next couple of years and across the various age cohorts. Certainly, we are looking at the strongest gains in the senior age cohorts because of that aging population profile, clearly supporting robust demand for healthcare and senior living. At the same time, we are seeing firm population growth in the working age cohorts as well, when people are often looking to be buying their first homes or trading up in the housing market. What is quite interesting is the sustained population growth in the schooling age cohorts, given the influx of overseas students for high school and university, which is clearly adding to very strong demand for student accommodation. Meanwhile, we're seeing more subdued growth ahead for newborn babies in Australia and across many parts of the world, partly reflecting the disruption from the global pandemic, paring back some of that demand for early education and childcare. So what are the key implications for investors? Certainly, we are looking at a persisting state of housing undersupply for a number of years ahead. This is likely to be very supportive of residential rents and prices, especially compared to commercial real estate sectors. The patterns and sources of these migration flows are very specific, and we do expect that to feed into very specific types of housing demand and the required development and investment strategies that need to come from investors. If you're interested about hearing the potential opportunities in this space, reach out and talk to our capital team. This has been Bruce Wan for MaxCap Group.